The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome to the Support Local Everything podcast, a podcast of the Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chamber President Jennifer Pauley, and we're here on a little bit of a dreary Monday morning, but I am wearing my Bills sweatshirt today in support of the Buffalo Bills. As we're taping this on a Monday morning, tonight is a Monday night game with the Buffalo Bills. It's a big game, so I've decided why not pull out the Bleached by Abigail Lee sweatshirt and, support the hometown team. So good luck to the Bills. It is a little bit dreary morning, but the weather looks absolutely wonderful for the Lewiston Harvest and Hops Festival, which as we're recording this will take place this weekend, September 28th and 29th in the village of Lewiston. Right on Center Street, we have 150 vendors, different craft vendors, artisan vendors that make all of their own items. We have baked goods, we have a farmer's market, there's wineries, and of course our main sponsor, the Brickyard Brewing Company, has a really special brew just for the weekend. About 2017, we changed the festival from just the Harvest Festival to the Harvest and Hops Festival, adding that hops component. So you are able to enjoy some local wines, some local brews, and just have a great 2 days of experiencing Lewiston. So that's 10 to 5 both days. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce website at upwardniagara.com. But for a while now, every Saturday in the village of Lewiston, there has been a great artisan market, and we're so excited to have Rachel Jolbert, the owner of the Lewiston Artisan Farmers Market, here with us. We're so happy to have you here. I just have to give a little bit of insight before we start our conversation about the artisan market. If you are not aware, there is a market that happens every Saturday, and it features local farmers, bakers, makers, and artisans from the Western New York area. The market takes pride in being a producers-only market where the vendors must grow, bake, make, or create the products they are selling. The market brings together dozens of local small businesses every week during the summer and early fall growing season at Academy Park, and twice a month in the late fall, winter, and early spring at the First Presbyterian Church on Cayuga Street. So, Rachel, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So last week when I had my podcast, we were excited because Tedesco Construction, Tedesco Enterprises was going to be our guest. And the reason why we were excited is he actually had the space that we're in now that Rich has his business. This was where Tedesco had their offices. So it was going to be exciting bringing them back so they could see all the things that have changed. And on Friday, Justin said, "Oh, I can't make it." So I immediately reached out to you, and I'm so grateful that you're spending the time with us today to talk about the artisan market.
Yeah, absolutely. I love every opportunity to talk about the market.
Yes. So tell us a little bit before we get into everything new at the market. Tell us how you became the owner of the artisan market, because it's been in existence for a while now, and you didn't always operate the market, but you've taken the reins. Tell us how that transition
Correct.
made.
So the original owner and creator, Jamie, is absolutely amazing. She laid an amazing foundation for this market over 6 years of incredible hard work and dedication to getting this market up and running. So I joined the market as a vendor actually in 2020. And I sell baked goods with my other business. And so I was a part-time vendor for 2 years, and then I was a full-time vendor. I was working full-time at a co-op in Buffalo, which really aligns with farmers markets. Mm-hmm. And I have 3 small children who go to school in Lewiston, and as they're getting older, as you know, more activities and more things to go to. So it really started spinning my wheels about how I could possibly work closer to home. And then a conversation just happened between Jamie and I, who have been good acquaintances for many years, about the possibility of her wanting to phase out, but she wanted to really trust someone to take ownership of that, because she put a lot of hard work.
She did. Blood, sweat, and tears into that.
Absolutely. And we all still thank her to this day for what she started. And I originally was like, no, I'm not interested. And then a couple months went by and I really thought about it. And I said, can we meet for a cup of coffee and just chat about what this would look like? And the rest is kind of history. So it's been just over a year. So last July was my official start of taking over. So it's been over a year now, and it's been great. I get to work from home with both of my businesses and kind of work my schedule around my family, which was the goal. But also, I was born and raised in Lewiston, and Lewiston is just like the heart of who I am. It's been part of my whole life, and I raised my family here. So I'm so excited to be able to do this in my community and bring everyone together.
I'm so excited for all of the opportunities that you have created for yourself, because you are definitely making it so you're able to balance your family and balance your work, something that you love to do. And I'm so in awe of people that are able to do that, because it's hard to do that. And you found something that you love, and I can tell you love doing this work, both baking and running the farmers market, because both businesses have grown immensely in the past year. Just the amount of time and dedication that you are able to put towards it, it's because you love doing it, and
100%.
love seeing that.
And I think it helps as being a vendor of the market and also managing. I kind of had that unique perspective of what it's like to actually be in it,
Yes.
And that's also part of my livelihood. And so I tell everyone, one of my favorite parts about being involved in the farmers market is just the relationships that I've made. And the people who have businesses in a farmers market are these small family businesses who are so passionate about what they're growing, what they're making, what they're doing. And they put everything into it. And to be surrounding yourself with people with the same mindset as you, just really. So it's not just me who's made this market so much bigger. It's all of these people who put all of their blood, sweat, and tears into their small businesses that create this big, cohesive, amazing market that we have every Saturday.
So when you have this market Saturday, you have some vendors, some farmers, some makers that are there weekly, that are dedicated, that I see they have their spot, they're there weekly, and then you also have some part-time vendors as well. So tell us the mix between that and how that works every week.
So we currently have 23 full-time vendors who are there rain or shine every Saturday. And that is a mix of, I believe, 8 farms. So farms, I always like to mention that people think of farms, they think of fruits and vegetables, which obviously those are farms and those make up a lot of why people want to go to the farmers market. But some of the other farms include the mushroom farmers, which are indoors. It's its own, growing process. And the bee keepers are their own type of farm, and maple farmers. And the animals, we have a lamb supplier, and beef and poultry. Those are all different types of farmers. So people, I think, tend to just think of fruits and vegetables, but it's really all of those things. And then we have 4 bakers, including myself, that come to the market and bake fresh, 2 days before the market, the day of, bringing as fresh local goods as they can to the market. And then our artisans. So most of our part-timers come in that artisan kind of factor, and we really try to have a good mix. So there's people who make different jewelry, and even if we have 2 jewelry or 3 jewelry vendors on any one day, maybe one does more of like a fine jewelry with silver or gold, and one does polymer clay, and just a different niche for everyone. And we have potters, crocheters, actual art, like artists that paint and do photography. So we have a mix of a little bit of everything, which makes it really special.
It has grown. How does somebody become a part of the artisan market? What is the process? Do they have to sign a long-term contract? How does this work?
So our full-time members have to agree to participate in 85% of our market for that season. So in a normal season, that's 19 Saturdays. They have to commit to 16 of those Saturdays, which is a big commitment, but that allows our customers to know they can count on X, Y, and Z to be there every Saturday if they need some of their staples or what they're looking for. So the price is a little bit less for those per Saturday because of that commitment. And then we have a smaller commitment of 5 Saturdays for our part-time vendors that allow them to sign up for 5 out of those 19. A lot of our part-time vendors will pick, the second Saturday of each month because there's 5 months in the summer season. this year coming up, we are going to have a special pop-up vendor option, which was if somebody wants to just try the market. You do have to be a legal business, and it can't just unfortunately be your hobby. But I'm more than happy to help people. I love to direct people to getting their DBA, getting their insurance. It's actually a lot easier than I think people get scared of
They
doing
do.
that.
When they hear New York State, they think, I need a tax ID number? What are you talking about? It's like, it's an easy process. It really is.
Absolutely.
But you're right. There is that little bit of a, well, I just sell this on the side. Can't I just come in? Because we face that as well with our shows. And I love that you have these parameters that have to happen, and you're willing to show people how to make that next step, because it will help their business
100%.
Once they become one of those actual businesses that contribute to the economy.
Absolutely. And I think it's people get excited when they're like, oh, you'll help me, and it makes me happy, because that's what I'm passionate about, is small business and people. So people will reach out, either emailing me or texting me, honestly, or even on Instagram or Facebook. They'll message me, and then I'll send them a link to our application. Usually most people who get an application are accepted into the market, because we try to vet a little bit. I try to ask questions. And first of all, making sure they're a legitimate business. If they're a food business, if they have their health department license, and I'll connect them to the health department. We have really nice guys that work in our health department office in Niagara County. So I really like to help people just make sure that they're legit and get started. And I've helped probably 4 or 5 businesses this season kind of get started in a legit way. So
yeah. It's so exciting to see that. That is part of the growth of that festival, of that market. I'm in festival mode. Can you tell?
No, absolutely.
Part of the growth of that market is actually making sure that these vendors, understand that there's a little bit of a process. It's easy, and you're there to help. You've had small business background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been kind of a serial entrepreneur my entire life. And I think I credit a lot of that to just not being afraid. When I was in high school, I did a young entrepreneurs program through NU when I was at Newport. And I started a small business doing birthday parties where kids would bake cakes. And then when I was 18, I opened a small storefront on Center Street in Lewiston.
Which we did the ribbon cutting for.
And I think it's just, I'm not afraid. And I always tell small businesses, they'll be like, oh, how did you get where you are? How did you do? And I said, it really comes down to not being afraid of rejection. I hate the word rejection, but it's just everything I've been able to do and then not been able to do has taught me something, and I think you have to have that mindset, especially as an entrepreneur and a small business owner, that not everything is going to work out the first time, the second time, the third time, maybe the fourth time might be the charm, who knows, but you just kind of got to keep getting up and trying until something clicks. And I feel like that's what happened here with my life. And now I get to help other people do that. And I think that that's so exciting, to kind of use my trial and error experience over the last 15 years to help other people. And it just makes me happy.
Oh, I'm so happy about that. Since you've had this market over the past year and a half, you've also extended the time frame of the market. So it's not just, and what I mean by that is it's not just a June, July, August, maybe into September market, which is what it used to be, because that's when the growing season happens and harvest and everything. And Academy Park was the sole location for that market. Tell us on the off season what this schedule looks like now going forward, because I actually gave Rich some of the upcoming information on your event in a couple weeks in October, and then also for the winter season as well. So lead us into that. What does that look like?
Absolutely. So our last outdoor market of the season is October 12th. So we usually stop mid-October. That's, again, when most of the growing season is kind of in its finality. We're getting into, winter crops that we'll talk about when we talk about winter. But so we end on a high note. So we did this last year. It was our first large market as part of the farmers market, and we call it our fall festival. So that will be October 12th. We have 104 vendors that will be set up in Academy Park. We have food trucks. We have all kinds of crafters. My favorite part about this event is that it has a whole component geared towards children. So we have pony rides, we have face painting, I actually have 2 local authors this year coming to do book readings about children's books that they've read. I have a rock mining company coming. We have hair braiding. So, and then we have all of these amazing vendors, again, that are still local, handmade, keeping that integrity of what our normal market looks like. So that will be our big end of the year shebang. And then we transition, we take 1 week off, and we transition to our winter market that is at the First Presbyterian Church on Cayuga Street, right down the hill from where we are in the park. We started that relationship last year, and the church has been absolutely amazing. So they have opened up their doors to us. So we use their basement, but because the church is on a hill, it's not actually downstairs or anything. It is completely accessible, which is amazing for our customers. It's great for our vendors who are lugging things in and out. We don't have to go up and down stairs. The church is so sweet. They let us use their tables and chairs. So in the winter, our vendors don't have to bring those extra items. And we really started that last year. I started poking around the idea of it in September because some of the other markets in the area do a winter market. And so I actually started by asking the vendors. I was like, what do you guys think? Would you want to continue? And some of the farms don't continue on because that's their rest time, which I totally understand. But a lot of the business were like, you know what? Like, I think I want to, look into this. So and then I put out a survey to the public on our Facebook and social media. And I just said, like, who would come over the winter, because we don't want to put all this work and have everyone sign up. And, even plant extra things, to have over the winter. And the public was really happy about it. And we had a great first season. I'm really excited about our second winter season. We still have 3 of our farms that will be participating. So you can get cold storage items. So apples, different winter squashes, always eggs and things, honey, maple syrup. We'll always have those things. And then you'll see a lot more of the crafters and the artisans around the holidays. So you can get those local handmade items for Christmas or whatever holiday. We go into Easter and then Mother's Day. So we get a lot of those spring holidays during that. I call it winter market, but it really, goes right into the spring.
And then it'll lead back into the summer market again.
Yeah.
Which this is such a great thing for Lewiston. But it extends beyond Lewiston. But I'm talking as a Chamber of Commerce, there's a lack of things that happen in the winter months because we are such a tourist-driven village, and there's a lot of outdoor things that happen from, May through the end of December. There's still some hearty festivals and events and things happening, but once that stops, there's not a lot of activity. And so this market brings people in every Saturday, on the quote-unquote off-season months, and it's something to do, and we're just so excited. And I love that the church partnership has happened because that has a beautiful community facility, beautiful room that I think the Boy Scouts use. There's just different organizations that use it.
They have a pickleball,
yes,
I don't know, club.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of stuff there, and I do want to mention too some of the things that we've kind of partnered with the church. So they were already doing a Thanksgiving food drive, and so we kind of took that, and I was like, let's use our audience and just the market itself, and we advertised that, and we had people bring in, and I was almost left in tears last year. So I think last year for the food drive we did, if you brought in 3 items, you got a free cup of hot chocolate that we provided, and we ended up with so many items. We had this table that was overflowing onto the floor, and I was almost in tears at just how amazing our community is when we call for that action that they came. And we did the same thing at Christmas for a toy drive. So the church actually works with a couple different associations and gets lists for children in need or women and children who don't necessarily have the greatest home life going on around the holidays. And so they really want to make it special. So they'll give us a list, and we fulfilled some of that list for them. And it just makes me happy to be part of the community and really working with the church that allows us to use their space in that way while, combining the market, which is, again, just this community-driven organization. And it really has made this cohesive kind of partnership with them. So it's amazing. We have the market twice a month over the off season, just so it's not every single Saturday, but we get those committed shoppers. It's like in the summertime, if going to the market on a Saturday morning is your Saturday thing, our customers come out every Saturday to support. Well, those same customers will come out all through the winter to support our vendor. So it's amazing.
It is. I'm so excited for the growth. You are, Rachel, definitely a builder. And I mean by that, you see something and you're going to build upon it and make it something great. And I love the collaborations that you are doing. It's just going to, expand your market, but expand the feeling of community. That's what it does. So excited for you. Yeah. So about the market, where are the places people can find it? Website, you have social media. Tell us how people can find all the upcoming things that are happening at the market.
Yep. So I update our Facebook and our Instagram almost daily. So you can look up Lewiston Artisan Farmers Market on Facebook, Instagram. We do have a new website this year that I'm still working some tweaks out on, but it does exist and has a lot of our basic information. And that's just www.lewistonartisanfarmersmarket.com. And it lists all of our vendors. I put all of our full and part-time vendors on our website and a little information about them so you can see who's coming. And then also our amazing sponsors. We have lots of corporate sponsors and small business sponsors, which are even, my favorite. It's amazing that even other small farms that can't participate in our market because they're busy, at their farms will still sponsor the market. And so it allows us, we did kids crafts throughout the summer that we were able to offer for free, just with those sponsorships to be able to offer more to the community is really great.
It is great. And now, just over the past year, Academy Park has seen such an increase in activity and things happening at the park. Not just, a bike trail and the band shell being moved a couple years ago and things like that, but there's been more events. So the market has its own little kind of area of the park, but at the same time, there's so many other things that can happen. There's concerts, there's wine festivals. There's so many other things that have happened, and you've been a great partner amongst those. You've been able to work it out, and the more the merrier. Sometimes there's little things that can happen, but it's just showing the growth of the opportunity that's there.
Absolutely. This past weekend, we just had I'm going to forget the name, but we had a dog rescue come, and they wanted to do an event, and they, only had about a month to plan it. And I was like, you know what, why don't I help you? I ended up getting 10 baskets from our vendors at the market. And I said, let's move your event closer to the market. Let's make it one big cohesive event. And they were able to raise almost $2,000 for their organization. And I just think it was working together, and I think the more that we can do that, it's just better for everyone.
It is. It is. You definitely are the glue that keeps some of those things going. So you have 3 children, which we're going to segue into. You run that market like you can't believe, but you are also a small business owner. And I'm going to think that the name of your 3 Little Hens baking company, that has to do with your kids, right?
It does. I have 3 daughters, which you know a lot about as well. So I have a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And they're always at the market too. They help me with the baking business. They help package some things. My 4-year-old is our professional egg washer because we raise our own chickens. And they all have their own job. But at the market, I think that also just really makes me happy, and it's exciting because we always call them the market kids. So there's my 3 daughters, a bunch of the other vendors, kids come to the market, and they all kind of play together, they hang out, they help each other out. Sometimes you'll find my kids in other stalls and other vendors bagging apples and just helping out other vendors, and they'll help pack up some of their vehicles at the end of the day, and they just love to help. And I think it's not... People talk about when you have a small business, it's how do you separate home and business? How do you separate home and business? And for me, it's kind of not separating them is what actually makes it work. Mm-hmm. It's inviting them in to participate in it, and it's just become part of our life in such a fulfilling way. But it doesn't make it feel cumbersome or burdensome. It's not a burden. They're there with us.
Children don't look at it as, we have to go to the park again.
No, they love it.
They look forward to it. Yeah. I see you raising 3 little entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah. My 10-year-old already started making bracelets. She makes little beaded Lewiston, New York bracelets and support farmers. And she reminds me so much of myself as a child. So
yeah, you're teaching her.
Yeah.
They're following in your footsteps. What's your favorite thing to make from your bakery business?
Oh boy. Favorite thing to make. I just love cookies because I love to eat cookies.
Me too.
It's really funny because when
chocolate chip cookies.
When I started, I went to school for pastry, so I've baked pretty much anything you can think of. I've worked in tons of bakeries in the area. But when I started the market, I really just started out with cutout cookies. Custom cutout cookies became really popular in like 2019, 2020. They're still very popular. Yeah. Every party you go to, you're going to find custom cookies. But I started selling scones in 2020. And I somehow went from being like the cookie lady to the scone lady. And so I they're not necessarily my favorite thing, but they're one of my best selling items and people come for them.
Yes. Not only were you the scone lady, but I feel like this year you are also known as the waffle lady.
So this year I have a catering permit through the Department of Health, which is super fun. It expands what I'm able to do, and I make made to order waffles at the market with fresh fruit, and I use fruit from as many local farms as I can. And it's just something fun, just adding to that prepared foods component. It's kind of hard. We all know we have Wandering Gypsy that does their amazing breakfast sandwiches, and they make a lot of breakfast sandwiches every week at the market. But we were just looking for some other food options, and when I couldn't get some people to come, I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. It's hard because 9 to 1 is kind of a hard pocket of time. It is more breakfast and lunch. So, it's been a little more difficult for some of our prepared food vendors who want to try it out. A lot of people don't really want to buy a chicken sandwich or pizza at 9 in the morning.
Right.
So for me, I was like, I tried to get some of the local crepe businesses to nobody was available. So I was like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. And so now you're the waffle lady.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you can smell those waffles from my office. So I'll come in on a Saturday and I'll smell them like, it's not part of my plan today, but I'm just going to, and it's leading me over. You also have delved into the sourdough bread side of baking. I envy you because I always tell my husband, I don't know how to make sourdough, but I want to be a sourdough bread making mom. Yeah. It's somewhere in my future. I don't know when, but I always say.
Well, you have a large family too. So when I bake a loaf of bread for my family, it's gone in 30 minutes. Like there's 5 of us. Yes. So it's a loaf of bread doesn't last long. And it's really funny because I was talking to my friend Aurora, who is one of our farmers, and I started baking bread maybe about a year ago, and I said, I'd love doing this just for my family. I never want to sell it. It's just something I love to do. And then people were asking for it, and I don't know, bread is so different than other baked goods. You mix cookies and you bake them and they're done. You mix up cake batter, you bake it for 30 minutes and it's done. But bread is just this other monster of a product, and people I think are intimidated, and it's really not. It's not as scary as people think, but it just takes time. And I think that there's something so cool about, I have to feed the starter on Tuesday. I feed it again on Wednesday. I mix the dough on Wednesday. Then it goes through a process for about 6 hours of folding and turning. It proofs some more. Then I have to make it into loaves, and it sits in the fridge for 48 hours before it's ever even baked. Yeah. And then you bake it, and it turns into this beautiful loaf of bread that people apparently really want. But it's just a different kind of a thing to do. And so I've actually enjoyed doing it for other people because that's just who I am. Is I just love people. I love talking to people. I love cooking for people. And so, it's something I said I would never do, but here I am doing it.
You are. I love it. So, scone lady, the waffle lady, the bread lady, the farmer's market lady. You have a lot of hats, but, you wear them well. You definitely are one that you're able to take something and turn it into magic. And so we're so proud to work alongside of you and get to know you, and just the changes you have made in this market in the short year. We didn't even cover half the changes. You had interns from the academy.
I did.
You've gone through different programs. You've certified yourself in different things. We're nearing towards the end, but just give us a little snippet of some of those 2 new things. A couple more than 2.
Okay,
a few new things that you added.
So we did. I had 2 interns from Lewiston Porter's Business Academy, which was really great to help out with our new info booth. With our info booth, we not only have information about the market and sell some of our merch, but we started accepting SNAP this year, which was something that was really important to me. And it was something that I know that the previous manager and owner wanted to do, and it's something they had talked about. So I worked with some of the farmers to really get that up and running, and it's been going really well. So we do offer the use of EBT SNAP at the market.
So important.
Yeah, and it just gives more food accessibility to people that may be in need of using that. We also had our kids club, which was new this year. What else am I forgetting?
There's a list.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Every year I know we're going to see something different from that market from you, and so excited. And we do the Harvest and Hops Festival. But this year's the 40th year, so four decades of it, which is insane to think about.
Older than me.
Yeah, not older than me, but older than you. But we have a small farmers market as well, which complements what happens at Academy Park. And actually, we have a lot of the vendors that both have two booths. They have a booth at the Academy Park, which is at the start of the village, and then they have a booth at the Harvest Festival, because these events complement each other. Harvest Festival is 2 days, a little bit longer too, and a different type of festival. But I love that we're able to do that. There's no competition. It's just come.
And it definitely speaks to that commitment. Like I said, like that our full-time, we have, I think 4 of our vendors are going to be doing both markets. And it's that commitment to still doing their weekly market and then also being able to expand and give more of their product to the same community. Yeah. It's really special.
It is. It is. Our goal is to get people to stop at the market first and then come and get their beer or wine and all their buy all their stuff, at our festival or start at our Harvest Festival and get to the market. It's a walkable community, so it's so easy to do that. There's parking wherever you can find it. But people find it. People find the parking, and you're able to walk to both. And it's just, I'm excited about this weekend. It's a fun weekend. It's one of you're winding down your summer season at Academy Park, and fingers crossed that, we have this beautiful weekend weather through October 12th.
Absolutely. And I love, like, the end of September is perfect for, you start getting all of those fall, the cornstalk, the pumpkins, but then you still also have some of these lingering, like, tomatoes and the end of the peaches. And, so it's kind of this, like, commingling of summer and fall. Yeah. And so the weather's looking great.
Still some fresh flowers, but you can get your mums too at the same time. Yes,
absolutely.
Too. That's right. All right. Well, everybody, we hope that you enjoyed today's episode. It was a fluke that this happened, but I think it was a divine plan, because it worked out for both of us as we, get ready for the end of the Academy Park, farmers market season and highlighting October 12th, and then getting into the winter farmers market. So we'll have you back as the winter market is in full effect, and Tedesco Enterprises, we'll see you again sometime. We get these schedules, and we're so thankful for people who are able to fill in. And so absolutely. Rachel, thank you for coming in and joining us. Stop by the website, Lewiston Artisan Farmers Market.com, or find Rachel on any of the socials, Facebook and Instagram. And we look forward to seeing her this weekend. She's got her booth at the Harvest and Hops Festival, but you can stop by Academy Park before 9 to 1 this Saturday at Academy Park. And Rachel, so excited. And you know what? Maybe I'll have to send Rich that ribbon cutting photo from your business on Center Street, because I know I have it. That was one of the first ribbon cuttings I think I did. Such a long time ago. But as I was driving here, I'm thinking, I know I have that photo somewhere. It might be actually a printed photo. I'm not sure, but I will find it, because it shows how you had started and just grown.
I actually got engaged that weekend.
No way.
I opened that store, and my husband, we've been married for 12 years. We have our 3 daughters. Without him, I couldn't do any of this too. So
wow, it would have been one of the first couple years that I would have done, because I've been at the chamber for 15 years this October. Yeah. So yeah,
it would have been. Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to go down memory lane and pull that photo out. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Today. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on the Support Local Everything podcast. Tune in. We aren't taping next week, but tune us in October, and we have a full rest of the season ready for you. Thanks for joining us. Oh, that was